Hey everyone, sorry, just testing some things out here. But I thought I'd come on here, and I do apologize for any abrupt interruptions in the stream. If it suddenly stops and has to be restarted or bad connections. It's about 1:58, 1:57, I believe. Yeah, 1:57. I got to about 2:21 to clock back in, or at least 2:31 if you had the 10 minutes to it. But you can see the title. You can see the title, of course. You can see the what I want to talk. Well, you can see the title and here, and I basically want to talk some WWE news, and more importantly, what happened last night, and what happened last night, specifically when it comes to Bayley and Sasha Banks, and the situation there, as well as kind of talk about the other situation that's going on that was addressed somewhat in sort of a work but legitimate way last night by Kurt Angle, and that's the thing with Brock Lesnar. Now, I don't think. Now, I'll say this. I'm going to start off with the whole Brock Lesnar situation. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what to believe. I mean, I understand they want to make Brock the most realistic asset that they have, one of the more realistic stars that they have. Where he basically borderlines between uh, reality and non-reality. So I understand if they feel that it is it to be good. This is basically the way of trying to sell the fact that still try to be unpredictable and you never know what's going on with the superstars. I give them credit for really doing a good job with Brock, because if they have everything lined up for Brock to be at SummerSlam, drop the belt, maybe work a few more matches, then good on them for making us believe that there's something. So, I'll give them credit there. Stone for SummerSlam and just doing this to, like I said, getting back to what I was talking about. Um, you know, we don't really know what's going on with the whole situation, and like I said, if that's WWE's intention to blur that line so that we don't know what's happening, so that when Brock does show up, slam, you know, WWE will feel, hey, we did our job, we made people. Here's the reality. We're gonna go, have Brock compete, stuff like that. But what I was trying to say before the stream interruption is when you look at Brock Lesnar, and I do apologize for that, but when you look at Brock Lesnar, here's a guy that let's throw out the whole WWE is trying to blur the lines and try to make you think something that may not totally be true. Let's put that aside for a second. Let's take a look at the possible, because it seems that Brock Lesnar on the outside outside of the WWE wants to get back into UFC. Now, a developing story that came out this week is Brock has to the end of this week, mostly Friday, to make a decision to re-enter testing of the USDA. Brock has up till this Friday to submit for that testing if he wants to re-enter UFC. Now, if he does make that decision, then things really get complicated because we don't know exactly where that's going to leave the Universal Championship, because Brock apparently, legitimate or not, apparently has a clause in his contract that easy for me to say, contractually allows him not to have to participate in any kind of match he doesn't seem fit. So in other words, if he doesn't want to compete in a match, he can have whatever match is used to set that up called off. Like, apparently, like I said, whether you want to believe it or you don't, apparently Brock has the power in his contract to have had that multi-man championship match called off. Now, according to what Kurt Angle said last night on Raw, again, legitimate or not, the match for right now is called off. And possibly in its place, we're going to get Lashley and Reigns. Which a lot of people will hope that if that happens, Lashley's the one that wins, then we would get Lashley and Lesnar at SummerSlam, hopefully, which would basically possibly into the palm of Brock Lesnar, because I think what people have all been discussing and talking about is Brock Lesnar at times, either, like I said, whether it's storyline, kayfabe or not, Brock Lesnar seems to be using the WWE as bait, as a leverage tool to get back into the UFC, and vice versa. He's using the UFC to get what he wants out of WWE. Now, is that right for him to do? From a business strategy, yes. You want the most out of who wants you, and you're going to do whatever it takes to get it. You want the most money, or you want different kind of matchups or different kind of scenarios for your character when it comes to WWE, you're going to use whatever leverage you can get if you got that at your disposal. The same with if an MMA promotion like UFC wants you to highlight or headline one of their big events upcoming, you want to make sure that, hey, if I'm going to headline this thing, I'm going to become the most paid fighter out of the entire event. I'm going to get paid more than anybody else, and possibly get a chance at main eventing, even if it's not for the championship. I'm just saying, there are those, those are smart business tactics, whether you like them or you don't. Whether you agree with them or you don't, those are indeed smart business tactics. We may not agree a lot with what WWE is doing as far as Brock Lesnar goes, but if someone like Brock and Paul Heyman and whoever else is involved is able to use all these kind of things in their favor to get what they want out of both sides, then so be it. But with that said, here's what I look at. Toss any kind of speculation, legitimacy, kayfabe, whatever, to the side. Put it to the side for a moment. Let's say this all is legitimate. Let's say this is, okay, what I'm saying is, let's take all kayfabe, speculation, it could be a work and all that. Let's put it to the side and let's take a look at the legitimacy. Let's take a look at the legitimacy, and let's look at the fact that if Brock Lesnar obviously doesn't care about being there, like Roman Reigns says, scripted or not, then why is WWE continuously having him hold the Universal Championship? It doesn't make sense. I mean, there's got to be a payoff to this, right? There's got to be a payoff. And if Brock Lesnar, apparently, from what rumor has it, whether you believe it or you don't, is probably not going to be at SummerSlam, if not maybe the rest of the year. And the next time people see him is at a UFC event fighting. Why doesn't WWE do the smart thing and just strip him of the belt? Just say, hey, look, you don't want to be here. You're just using us for leverage to get what you want out of the UFC. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to let you out of your contract. You can go back to UFC. We're going to strip you of the belt. We're going to vacate it. We're going to hold a battle royal tournament or whatever and go from there. It makes more sense. Because that way, you don't have to worry about when and where your champion's going to appear, whether it's part of storyline or it's not. Whether it's part of a storyline or it's not, you don't have to worry about when and where your champion is going to appear. You, out of all this, will have your champion. You will have your Universal Championship on television every week on your flagship show, Monday Night Raw. I mean, it's the smart thing to do. I mean, I hate to say this. Take a look what Impact Wrestling did. Did what he did. What did they do? Huh? There was one point Alberto Del Rio did something when he was champion. He got suspended for it. And they stripped him of the belt because they didn't want the belt to be off television or not defended or showcased. The same could be said for WWE. WWE could take a page out of Impact Wrestling and Anthem Sports playbook. If Brock Lesnar legitimately does not want to be there, but yet he's still your champion, and yet part of his agreement with you guys is to perform at least at your big four pay-per-views, at all four of your big four pay-per-views, and he doesn't want to even show up for SummerSlam, or even for the rest of the year, then do yourself a favor, strip him of the belt, let him out of his contract, and there you go. You know, unless he has something in his contract stating, hey, you can't strip him of the belt because if you do, he'll sue you. If that's put into his contract, then WWE really isn't thinking. They're not making smart business decisions if they do that. They're not making smart business decisions if they do that. So if that's the case, then we might as well not just see the Universal Championship anymore. We might as well defunct that championship if that's the case. Let Brock out of his contract and just recreate a new championship. I don't know, bring back the World Heavyweight Championship if you have to. I mean, I have nothing against the Intercontinental Championship being showcased as the head belt for Raw. But if Vince McMahon values Raw as his baby, then he needs to do something. I mean, I was thinking about this earlier too. You can't tell me this could all be, and this is just speculation on my part. You can't tell me this might be all a result of his wife still holding a grudge, and his wife being the one that's saying, "Oh, do this, do that, to get what you can out of them, to get back at the company." Because if that's the case, then Sable, Lesnar, if you have a problem with the WWE, the company, why don't you take care of it yourself? I'm just saying, if she had, because you gotta look at it this way. There's an old saying of, behind every good man is a good woman. Or behind every smart man is a smart woman. I'm just saying, if she has any involvement in this and is giving advice to Brock and Paul on what to do, I wouldn't be surprised. But I can't say that. I can't straight out say that that's what's really going on. What I can say is this. Whether what's going on with Brock is legit or work, and they're going to surprise us probably at the end of Extreme Rules. He's going to show up. He's going to point to whoever his challenger is or come face to face with whoever his challenger is for SummerSlam and go from there. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Whatever. But you know what WWE may have to do? You know what they may have to do? And here's the thing. Money in the Bank means you can cash in whenever you want, right? I think what WWE needs to do to force Brock's hands, because a lot of people will take that Money in the Bank thing and say, you know what, that might be kayfabe a bit, but that's also legitimate. Because that's basically saying WWE has faith in this person to put the belt around them. You know, that's if they don't get themselves into hot water. So, my thought process is this. WWE should force, if Brock doesn't want to play by the rules, but yet he still has one match left, obligated, contractually left, force his damn hand. Have Braun Strowman, maybe have to make it feel more legitimate. Here's what you do to make it feel more legitimate. Have the McMahons, Vince, Stephanie, maybe Shane, and Triple H in the ring. Have them bring out Braun Strowman, and to make it feel more legitimate and real, have them basically say that that Braun Strowman is Mr. Money in the Bank. He has a right to cash in on the champion whenever he wants. And we've all come to agree that since Brock Lesnar doesn't want to defend that any time, to force him to do it, and he's going to do it at this at this time. And if he doesn't, we will sue him and his advocate for everything they have. And that's how you have Braun Strowman cash in and become champion. You force Brock Lesnar to come into the ring, come and compete, and if he doesn't, you sue him for what's the word? For foregoing his agreement. For in other words, not living up to his contractual obligations. So there you go. That is what they need to do. That right there. If WWE wants to put the championship, the Universal title on Braun Strowman, then basically if you're going to make it feel legitimate, make it feel real, have the McMahons and Triple H alongside Braun in the ring at the start of Raw and basically say they are forcing Brock Lesnar to defend that title against Braun Strowman, because Braun Strowman's going to cash it. Braun Strowman has agreed to cash in at this time and date for the Universal Championship, and we are forcing and ordering Brock Lesnar to do so, to show up and defend that title, because if he doesn't, we will sue him for not living up to his end of the bargain, or his end of the agreement. Or whatever they call it in legal cases. You know what I'm saying. But I think that might be the more legitimate, might be the most realistic way to go from a kayfabe story arc kind of perspective. And you can make a big deal about it. You can make a big deal about it leading to that matchup, because it's basically WWE, it's basically now the story's centered on the fact that Brock has no choice. And also, if he doesn't want to be part of the company anymore, add in the fact that the McMahons will state that at the end of the day, without their help, because Braun could do it on his own, hopefully, not only will Braun become champion, but you will never, after that night, you will never see Brock Lesnar in WWE ever again. To me, that's probably the best case scenario. But again, whether they do it that way or whatever they do, they need to address this. They need to get this taken care of before this week's out. If Brock doesn't submit to the USDA test to get back in the UFC, then hey, everything is in the clear. We'll get Brock at SummerSlam. But if that's not the case, and he doesn't decide to show up for perhaps the rest of the year, Strip him of the damn belt, let him out of his contract. Because obviously he doesn't care, and whether you believe it's a work or you don't, and if it is a work, all hats off to WWE, for making it feel like such. But whatever the case may be, they gotta make a decision, and they gotta make it soon, because this is getting downright ridiculous. I mean, whether you like Roman Reigns or you don't, and believe me, there's a lot that don't, if he's the champion, at least you know the title's there every week. Anyway, that's all I have to say on that matter. One last thing I want to talk about, of course, is the Bayley Sasha thing from last night. All I kept reading on Twitter feed, and then I saw in little GIFs, if not videos, on Twitter and on YouTube, was what Bayley did to Sasha after the 6-woman tag. And all I could say is, damn. All I can say is, damn. Where did this Bayley come from? Where has this Bayley been? I mean, this is a Bayley that a lot of people have been wanting to see for a while, and now they're getting it. Now, I heard what Don Tony had to say briefly about the situation, about what happened last night, and, Don Tony has a right to his opinion. And if he feels it's just to build up to the match between the two at Extreme Rules, then so be it. That's his opinion, right? But there might be more to this. Because get this, following this moment last night, Kurt Angle has ordered not only Bayley but Sasha to both take counseling next week. That counseling session is not going to be pretty. Because hopefully what we get out is not comedy. Hopefully not, but hopefully what we get out of this is a work-shoot-like style environment. And what I mean by work-shoot, I mean basically let them do, as part of the story arc, and part of the characters, let them say what they have to say. Let the frustrations come out on how they feel, not only they've been booked, but why, let's say, have Sasha finally admit why she acts the way she does. And have Bayley maybe come out and say, look, I just have this belief that everybody should get along and be friends and wish each other the best of luck in whatever they do. I mean, you do something like that. Deluxe Man brought up a good point. Like I said, have them go in a work-shoot style environment. Have Bayley bring up maybe the fact that her career has not been the same since last year. And heck, if it's going to lead to maybe them being to the women's championship match at Extreme Rules, then hey, it's going to lead to that. And that might be interesting, because if you want them to do because if you really want this to come off as real and legit, have them do that work shoot. Have them do a work shoot style segment, or several segments of work shoot style counseling, if you will, and have them maybe bring up Alexa. And maybe by bringing up Alexa, have them bring up the fact that this woman messed me up last year and is seemingly always on top and never letting anybody else on top instead. Maybe it leads to something in the future. We don't know. Like I say, maybe they'll get added to the match between Alexa and Nia, and maybe, Alexa will walk out with the championship, but maybe it'll lead to a moment that during the match to where they'll just look at Alexa while Nia is down and just beat the holy heck out of her for always being the one that's always champion. I don't know. It's just a suggestion, on my opinion, of what they could probably do. Overall, though, I will say that this is a moment last night that a lot of people were hoping for. Now, what is it going to probably lead to? Again, you got the counseling happening next week. That probably is not going to work out the way Kurt Angle wants. My honest opinion is it's going to lead to a Pittsburgh street fight at Extreme Rules. Because if they're in Pittsburgh, not Philadelphia, it makes sense that you at least have one of their matches, if not the only match they're going to have against each other, that might finally be what fans hope it could be, the show stealer that they know they could have. Then it has to be a street fight. It has to be a Pittsburgh street fight, and just let them go all out. Just let them go all out, beat the heck out of each other if they have to. Sorry about that. But like I said, beat the heck out of each other if they have to, but just let them go all out in that match, and whoever you decide to go with as the winner, maybe you go a route similar to AJ and Shinsuke that makes a little bit more sense, and go from there. And maybe you build upon that. I don't know. But I think, honestly, when you do the counseling next week, you should have it be a work-shoot style. Don't go comedy, everything, go work-shoot style situation. Maybe you throw in a female assistant to, if it's Dr. Shelby, have a female assistant come in there. Maybe the assistant is Sarah Del Rey, who both women probably know very well because they've gone up against her in the past. But have something like that, and if it leads to a brawl between the two, it leads to a brawl. But they need to make it a work-shoot style like situation to where Sasha admits this is why she's been acting the way she is. This is why she feels she's the only one entitled to be champion, because the boss is always on top. And maybe you have Bayley say, look, I'm just sick and tired of people lying to me, manipulating me. I just want people to get along. I want everybody to have a fair shot. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, folks, whatever they do, come next week in Extreme Rules after last night's momentous Raw segment, or Raw moment, as some people call it, for Bayley and even Sasha, the payoff better be good. And my suggestion is we either get a Pittsburgh street fight, we either get a Pittsburgh street fight, we either get them added to the women's championship match, whatever the case may be. Hopefully we get something that's a good payoff in the end. But honestly, I enjoyed what I saw. I'm sure a lot of people did. And to be honest, Don, Tony, you have your opinions. I don't think they're going to screw this up, honestly. I think they saw something there. I think they know they got something there, and they're going to run with it. So that's all I have to say on both situations. I got to get back into work now, guys. But let me know what you all think down below. Thank you all for watching live. Comment below if you like. Thank you all for watching post live after it's already been uploaded. And I will talk to you all later. I got to get back into work. Peace out. God bless. And sorry for the abrupt stream interruptions earlier. Peace.